Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, I'm a big fan of Multi Pliers, especially for stripping and for other tasks. These have been my go-to ones in my electrical bag. A lot of people really do like these Milwaukee. I think they're the 6-in-1 Multi Pliers. But today I'm going to bring something to the channel you guys have probably never seen before. In fact, it's not even released in the US market yet. I'm hoping that, if some of us are the first to bring it on to YouTube, that they'll see the potential for the US market and bring it over. So let me change the camera a little bit. We'll get the box and I'll show it to you. All right, here it is, guys. This is the Wiha 8-in-1 multifunctional pliers for electrical installs. The design probably reminds you of another German brand and their Installation Pliers, but this has some cool features that set it apart from anything else that I've seen. So far, I think you can only get these in Europe and Asia. Can't get them in the US yet, and I'm hoping that they will bring it over. So let's go ahead and get it out, and I'll show you some of the features. That was one of the features right there that you guys just saw. Little teaser. Okay, so these are multifunctional 8-in-1 pliers designed for electrical installs. They're chrome finish, kind of the forge style, like the Knipex Installation Pliers. I'm not going to claim that they're like the forged wire strippers, because I don't know if anything can beat those as far as cutting. So up at the top, it has a needle nose pliers at the top. Bring it in here. It also has a reaming. It also has a reaming portion up here with hard edges. Has fine teeth up here, and they are very fine. In fact, they're not even that grippy to my feel, but when you grip wire, they do pull pretty good. A bolt gripping portion here, and I do like that it's like a hex pattern. Has the crimpers here, and it says on there what they're for. 0.5 to 2.5 millimeters. Everything's in metric here. Just make sure I get the right camera angle. 3 stripping sizes, and I believe these are going to be equivalent to, the largest is 2.5. That's going to be equivalent to your 14 gauge wire. 1.5 millimeters equivalent to your 12 gauge wire, and I'm not sure what the 0.7 is yet. I'm going to have to test that out. Some nice curved cutters here. I like that these are shear cutters. Those are becoming some of my favorite wire strippers right now. I've tried other ones. Let's see, it also has a screw cutter here. And then besides the VDE handles, 1,000 volt rated, one cool feature is it has a spring that you can turn on and off. You flip it up. Oops, didn't flip it up enough. There we go. You flip it up onto the second handle portion here, and it gives you spring-loaded pliers. And if you don't want that, like for sticking in your bag like this, they won't open on their own. You can shut it off. And one cool thing is these open extremely wide. They do remind me of the Knipex Installation Pliers in that regard. And I've tested the cutters out. They are very sharp, and I haven't seen any marks on them really from cutting 12 gauge wire. So let's compare it to these other two options. You have the Irwin, which is a pinch cut design, although these are very strong. They seem to be forged, and the cutters basically cut like any of my diagonal pliers. They're not necessarily high leverage, but they do give you the wide handles that are comfortable. Of course, it's the ergo grip style, spring loaded. Plenty of you guys have probably seen the Milwaukee 6-in-1 spring loaded, kind of short handles that come down to a taper here at the bottom. It does give you tether loops. And this one probably better for an all-around stripper. It goes from 18 solid to 8, and then 20 stranded to 10 stranded for the strippers. Shear cutters that are very sharp, although I have noticed, get in here, just using them here and there, you do notice that it starts to wear on these cutters. Of course, you can't really complain. They're only $20. So I imported this over. They're made in Vietnam, and I paid $25 for them on AliExpress. The shipping was reasonable. I think it took a little over a week for them to get here. So if these can beat the Milwaukee, these are going to be a great value. So let's go through some of the testing. We'll cut some 12 gauge wire and 14 gauge wire, and hopefully you guys can see the difference. Okay, so let's start with the Milwaukee. We're going to cut some 14-2 solid wire. Some nice cutters here. A little bit of a snap at the end. Now let's try the pinch cutters on these Irwins, the NWS Germany pliers. A lot more force and a lot harder snap at the end. And you feel that in your hands. For cutting wider materials, I feel like there's just more resistance with this style of cutter. So I don't end up using these too much. Let's try these shear cutters on the Wihas. It's super easy. No snap either, so you don't have that jarring in your hand. And I attribute that not only to the very sharp cutters, but also these comfortable 1000-volt rated handles. I really do like Wiha handles. This is my first time trying the 1000-volt rated. They do fit my hands pretty well. I do wish they were a little bit longer for your pinky there, but they give you a lot of cushion and a lot of space for your hands. Now let's try 12-2 solid wire. The Milwaukee's first. Not bad. Not really any harder than the 14 gauge. Got a magnet on there. I'm sure you guys can hear that snap. Feels about the same. A lot of snap there. Okay, try the Wiha. Super easy. Buttery smooth. And no marks. Get it in here. No marks on the cutters. This is a little challenging filming such a shiny tool. I'm used to matte finish or black. So, how do these strip? That's probably what you want to know. Let me pull out something here. Just pull our conductors out here. One thing to notice that I noticed, and I couldn't tell from the marketing, is the tips of these needle nose pliers are pretty much smooth. See if I can get it in close so you can see. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's pretty smooth. So maybe not the best for gripping wires. They probably would still be decent for twisting. We can try it after we do this test, but that's one thing to notice. The other two, they have nice grip all the way out to the end of the pliers. So we'll do black for Milwaukee and white for Wiha. Like that. Try to remember that. Okay, so we'll go to the 14. These always end up digging in. I don't know why. Try again. Try it on the 12. Yeah, it works better on the 12. It's funny. I've always had that issue with the Milwaukees. Let's see. The NWS or the Irwins, they have no markings. So I'm just going to try it on the 12. We'll just come back about the same distance. Yeah, that's going to be I had some twists in that, so that's going to be a little bit harder. Not bad. Didn't scar the wire up or anything. Okay, so let's try the Wiha. I'm going to try the 1.5 millimeter. It does look a little small, but it does dig in a little bit. Oops, keep getting it off camera here. It's hard to do. Let's cut that. We'll go to the larger setting. Yeah, strip's pretty nice. Did scar it again a little bit. I think I was bearing down on it pretty hard, trying to get the technique, because all these have different angles to them. So yeah, I mean, they strip nice. Like I said, it seems like 2.5 is equivalent to the 12 gauge, but it works really well for the 14 gauge too. Yeah, I'm going to play around with these more so you guys can see. Let's see. Oh, we'll check out one more feature. So the Milwaukees have the screw cutters on them. You have to thread the screw in like that for the 832 screws and the 632 screws. And with the Wihas, you don't have to screw them in. However, it does not accept the 832 size screws into this hole. Kind of a bummer, but honestly, if I was to carry these in a pouch, I'm going to be carrying diagonal cutters with them. Whereas in some tool pouches that I've carried, this has kind of replaced both. I don't like the strippers on this. They're not as comfortable. They're not as sharp. I feel like you're better off having installation pliers and diagonals with you. Or you can just carry these type of screws that you can just snap them with pliers and shear them anyway. But I'll try to grab some 632 screws and we'll snap those. I mean, I've seen them, the advertising, they snap nails and stuff with it, so I believe that it works. But I just thought I'd point that out. So yeah, I mean, I took kind of a risk importing these over. It's not designed for the US market, but I have a feeling that for me, it's going to work out really well. And the fact that it has 3 sizes of wire strippers, I think the Knipex installation pliers, I think they only have 2 sizes. And the fact, the big thing for me is the comfort of the handles, the features of the head, and then having that spring that you can turn on and off so that you have less fatigue if you're going to be doing a lot of repetitive cuts or strips. But then when you want to put it back in your tool bag, you just slip that down, slip it down in your pouch, and it fits nice. Whereas the Milwaukees, you know, they have a decent little lever, but I don't know. I don't like having pliers spring-loaded all the time, necessarily. For the ergo strips, it works out pretty good. And this has some unique features too, and you would probably want them to be spring-loaded with the design of this handle. I mostly like that you can twist and reach into places and pull things out with them. But let me know down in the comments, do you think that Wiha should bring this design to the United States? I'm sure they will eventually. These have been out, I think, almost a year. And I only know of 2 other people in the US that have these. One guy on Instagram, he works with like control panels and stuff like that. So I could see how having that smaller size, the 0.7 millimeter, would be good for him. And then there's another guy on YouTube I saw that just posted a short about his. And that helped me make up my mind. I had my eye on these for a while, but yeah. It makes me want to get some more of the 1000 volt rated Wiha stuff. I know a lot of people are a big fan of that. I don't have any yet, besides this. But I'm pretty impressed. And like I said, this might be a good budget option compared to the $60 Knipex installation pliers. So yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Are you an electrician? Do you think that this is kind of gimmicky? Would you rather just carry a dedicated pair of strippers that have multiple sizes on it? Although this is really a pair of multi pliers too. And so you have some trade-offs with this. But yeah, I'd love to get some feedback and let me know if you guys are interested in this thing. And we'll catch you on the next video.